How do you keep your clients' money safe? By maintaining proper records. The account journal is one of 3 trust account documents needed for each trust account, kept in chronological order, and where every single transaction that takes place is recorded, from the date the account is opened until it is closed. Let's take a tour of the account journal. At the top, you can record certain permanent trust account information that you enter when you first set up the account. Since firms generally maintain an IOLTA account for the life of the firm, this information will not change from month to month. The account close date is only entered when the trust account is closed. Selecting the current month and year can help ensure your account journal is up to date. Let's look at the columns. They describe every transaction in detail, telling you when, who, how, why, and how much was involved. In the State Bar template, you'll see an asterisk in each column that is specifically required by Standard 1B. The other columns are added as best practice. When did the transaction occur? The date column records the date of each transaction. If the transaction is a deposit, record the date the funds were deposited. If it's a disbursement, record the date the payment was issued. Who sent or received the payment? The payer or payee column records the person or business from which you received the funds, also known as the payer, or to which you are dispersing the funds, also known as the payee. By recording the payer and payee in the same column, you can quickly sort all transactions related to one payer or payee. How did the transaction take place? The transaction method is the form of deposit or payment. If the transaction method was by check, it's helpful to record the check number of deposited and dispersed checks for easy reference. Next, what's the purpose of the transaction? Record deposit amounts in the deposit column and disbursement amounts in the disbursement column. How much money is in the trust account at any given time? The running balance tells you the new account balance after each transaction. Who is the client or third party on whose behalf the transaction took place? In this column, record the name of the client or write bank charges for non-chargeable bank fees. Optionally, you may add notes that are helpful to your record keeping. The last 2 columns are used during the reconciliation process and shouldn't be completed prior to performing the monthly reconciliation. You'll place a mark in these columns during the reconciliation process. Now that you've seen what's recorded in an account journal, the rest is simple. Just repeat. Each row in the account journal represents one transaction, each recorded in chronological order and in detail. For example, the first transaction was a deposit on January 3, 2024. When? The day you open your law firm. And is deposit of a check from Expert Law Firm's business account. Who? Check 3889, how, was deposited in the amount of $200. How much? Intended to pay for bank charges. Why? Let's add a new transaction. You received a check from R&W Development as an advance fee payment. Let's record when the deposit took place, which is the day it was deposited, and may not be the same as the date on the check. Next, let's record who the check is from. How did the transaction occur? What is the purpose of this transaction? This is the real purpose of the transaction, which may be different from what is in the memo of a check or wire transfer. How much is the transaction? Who is the client? You'll see the running balance now automatically updates. For this transaction, retainer is noted because the client wrote that in the check memo. But since the attorney will bill from this payment, this is an advanced fee, as noted in the purpose column. Now that you've added our transaction, let's look at your updated running balance. The running balance is automatically calculated in the State Bar Excel template. To copy the formula, first select the last cell with the formula and hover on the bottom right of the cell. You'll see that your cursor will turn into a cross. Then click, hold, and drag down as far as you want to copy the formula. The running balance column will be automatically calculated for you. As part of the monthly reconciliation process, you'll reconcile, or match, the account journal transactions to the client ledgers, bank charges ledger, and to the bank statement. For more in-depth information about trust account record keeping and reconciliations, you may take our Practical Trust Account Reconciliation course.